You're listening to Day 20, Jacob Dies. Join us at the table for a little extra. From the beginning, a couple chapters ago, we saw that when Jacob and Joseph were reunited, he's like, well, now I can die. And he was 130 years old at that point. I think he thought he was at his end, and now I can go be with God. But God gave him 17 more years. And did y'all notice that number 17? Why that's an interesting number?
Well, Joseph was 17 years old when his brothers sold him as a slave.
Yeah. So God gave him those years back.
Yes.
17 years. And it's funny too, you can think you know your future and stuff, and God's got something else planned for you. 17 more years of Jacob being on the scene with his family, living in Goshen. And they had, at this point, passed those 5 years of famine, those additional years. So now they are living, being fruitful and multiplying and forming that nation that they are, Israel.
I love how Jacob tells Joseph all that God has done for him. He reminds him what he's done for his father and his grandfather, and so ultimately what he's done for him as well. And that's so important to remember to do that for our children, passing on look at what God has done in our lives.
And I think too, again, we see that the father blesses the younger one rather than the oldest one, gives him the blessing. And the third or fourth time that's happened. So I think that's a message to us is, you may think you're last, but I can put you first. Sounds like the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5. So it's not always the way we see things, it's the way God sees things. And so we should never feel like we're less than or not as important, because that's just not the way it is. That's not his word to us. He can bless anybody at any time and elevate you to any purpose that he's called you to.